I am 106 years old, and I have a plastic pill organizer sitting on this kitchen table in front of me right now. I open it every single morning. Click, click, click. 7 little compartments, Sunday through Saturday. Every single one of them empty. No pills, no vitamins, no supplements, nothing. The doctors can't explain it. The scientists scratched their heads and wrote their little papers and moved on. The journalists, they came too. Cameras in my kitchen, notebooks out. They all wanted the same answer. What's your secret? And I told them, 4 foods: sardines, garlic, oats, olive oil. That's all I've eaten more or less for the better part of 60 years. They wrote their articles, they got their clicks, and then they left. But nobody, and I mean not a single one of them, ever told you what it actually costs to outlive everything you love. So I'm telling you now, before you chase this dream of living forever, you better sit down and listen to an old man who got exactly what he wished for and choked on it. This kitchen is so quiet right now, I can hear the dust settling. I can hear the click of that pill organizer echo off the walls like a gunshot in a canyon. The coffee maker is sitting right there on the counter, same spot it's been for 40 years, and I haven't turned it on in 3 days because there's no point in brewing a pot for 1 cup. The morning light is coming through that window, catching all the little particles floating in the air, and I sit here watching them drift, because sometimes that's the most movement this house sees all day. Let me take you back to when I was arrogant enough to think this was a gift. I was in my 70s when people started to notice. My friends were getting hip replacements. They were slowing down, shrinking, fading. Not me. I was sharp. I was strong. I walked 2 miles every morning, and I ate my sardines and my garlic and my oats with olive oil, and I felt like I had cracked some kind of code that the rest of the world was too stupid or too lazy to figure out. When I hit 80, a local paper ran a story on me, "The Man Who Won't Age." I cut that article out and put it on my refrigerator. I was proud. God help me, I was so proud. By 85, the bigger outlets came knocking. Television crews in my kitchen, filming me mashing garlic with the heel of my hand, filming the tin of sardines, filming the oats bubbling on the stove. I played the part. I smiled. I flexed my hands for the camera and said, "Still strong." And I believed it. I believed that lasting longer meant mattering longer. I thought that every year I added was another year of relevance, another year of proof that I was special, that I was chosen somehow. That if science had no answer for why I was still here, then maybe God did. And maybe that answer was that I was better than the people who left before me. I went to funerals, a lot of funerals. And I'm ashamed to tell you this, but I walked out of every single one of them feeling victorious. My college roommate, gone at 72. My neighbor of 30 years, gone at 79. My own younger brother, gone at 81. And I stood at each of their gravesides with my back straight and my mind clear, and I thought, not me. I'm still here. I'm still winning. At 90, I could still do mental math faster than my grandchildren. I told everyone who would listen. I made sure they knew. I made sure the world understood that my body and my mind were defying every expectation, every chart, every statistic. I thought clarity was currency. I thought sharpness at 90 bought me a permanent seat at the table of people who mattered. But here's the thing about a table. People have to choose to sit at it with you. The cameras stopped coming. The phone got quieter. Not all at once, slowly. The way a faucet drips until one day you realize the sink is dry. I'm sitting in the same kitchen right now. Same stove, same counter, same window. But where there used to be camera cables snaking across my floor, there's nothing. Where there used to be a voice asking me questions, there's a clock. Just a clock. Ticking. Filling the space where conversation used to be. And I started to realize that my arrogance hadn't been confidence at all. It had been a lie I told myself so I wouldn't have to face the thing that was creeping up behind me year after year after year. The lie was simple. I thought living longer meant I would never be alone. I was wrong. Now let me tell you about the day everything broke. My 100th birthday. They threw me a party. My granddaughter Elena organized it. Community Hall on Marsh Street, the one with the aluminum siding and the parking lot that's always half gravel. I walked in and the fluorescent lights were buzzing overhead, that low electrical hum that gets into your teeth if you listen long enough. Folding chairs set up in rows, maybe 50 of them. Not all of them filled. The floor was that speckled linoleum, the kind that squeaks under your shoes when it's been freshly mopped. And it had been mopped because I could smell it. Pine cleaner and something chemical underneath, something industrial. They had a cake on a folding table near the back wall. Sheet cake, white frosting, blue letters that said, Happy 100th, and a little cluster of balloons tied to a chair that nobody was sitting in. 50 chairs, maybe 35 people. I counted. You count things like that when you've been to enough rooms that used to be full. Elena stood up to give a toast. She's my daughter Maria's girl. Maria passed at 78, heart attack in her sleep. Quick, painless, they said, as if that word means anything to the people left behind. Elena looks like her. Same jawline, same way of pushing her hair behind her ear before she speaks. She stood up and she held her glass of sparkling cider, and the room got quiet, and she started talking about me. She said the things you say. She said I was remarkable. She said I was a testament to the human spirit. She said scientists had studied me and none of them could explain it. She said I was a miracle. And then she stopped, right in the middle of a sentence. Her eyes got wet and her chin did that thing where it trembles just barely enough that you can see it if you know where to look. And she said, "We don't know how you're still here, Grandpa." and the room clapped. But I heard it different. I heard it the way you hear something when the arrogance is finally thin enough to see through. She wasn't marveling. She was tired. She was standing in a room full of people who had been waiting for the natural order of things to assert itself, and it wouldn't. I was 100 years old, and I wasn't dying, and nobody in that room knew what to do with that. The applause wasn't celebration. It was nervous energy. It was the sound people make when they don't have words for the strange, unsettling thing happening in front of them. After the party, most people left fast. Handshakes, pats on the shoulder. "You look great." That's what they say when they don't know what else to say. Elena was packing up, and she handed me a small wrapped box. I opened it right there, standing next to the half-eaten cake. The frosting smelled like buttercream, that heavy, sugary sweetness that sticks to the inside of your nose. And underneath it, the pine sol, the industrial cleaner, the smell of a room that belongs to everyone and no one. Inside the box was the pill organizer, brand new, clear plastic, 7 compartments. She smiled and said, "Just in case you ever need it, Grandpa." I didn't need it. I knew I'd never need it. And I think she knew that too. The hall emptied out. The folding chairs got stacked against the walls. Someone turned off half the fluorescent lights to save electricity. So the room went dim, half lit, shadows stretching long across the linoleum. And I sat there, alone, holding that empty pill organizer in both hands. The cake was still on the table, a plastic knife stuck in it, a few crumbs on the floor where someone's kid had dropped a piece, and the silence in that room wasn't peaceful. It wasn't the kind of quiet you seek out. It was a verdict. It was the sound of 100 years catching up to me all at once and saying, "You stayed too long at the party. Everyone else went home." That was 6 years ago. Elena visits me every few months now. She drives 40 minutes. She sits at this table for about an hour. We talk about the weather. We talk about her son's school. We don't talk about how long I've been alive, because there's nothing left to say about it. The wonder is gone. What's left is obligation. And I can smell obligation the way you can smell rain before it falls. It's in the shortness of the visit. It's in the way she checks her phone under the table and thinks I don't notice. I notice everything. That's the curse of a sharp mind in a world that stopped needing it. The pill organizer is still here, right here on this table. I open it every morning like a ritual. Click, click, click. 7 empty compartments staring up at me like little open mouths with nothing to say. No medicine, because my body doesn't need medicine. No vitamins, because apparently sardines and garlic and oats and olive oil did what 100 bottles of supplements couldn't. The emptiness in that little plastic box used to be a badge of honor. Now it mocks me. It sits on this table like a tiny coffin, with 7 rooms and nobody buried in any of them. My neighbors look at my window when they walk by. I see them. They don't wave anymore. They glance. The way you glance at something you can't explain, and don't particularly want to. Last month I heard the woman next door talking to her husband in their yard. She said my name. She said it in the past tense. He was always so independent. Was. I'm sitting right here, 12 feet from her fence, and she's already talking about me like I'm gone. People do that. They bury you before you're dead, when you've stayed long enough to make them uncomfortable. The food still works, every morning. Sardines, garlic, oats, olive oil. My body keeps going like a machine that forgot how to stop. My heart beats steady. My lungs fill clean. My hands don't shake. And this house smells like nothing. That's the part nobody warns you about. A house that used to smell like my wife's coffee, like Maria's perfume when she came through the door, like garlic bread on Sundays when the whole family was here. Now it smells like nothing. Clean nothing. Empty nothing. The absence of people has a smell, and it is the lack of any smell at all. Nobody is coming today. Nobody came yesterday. The phone is on the counter, and it will not ring. Now I know why you're here. You clicked on this because you wanted the secret. You wanted me to list the 4 foods, so you could write them down and start tomorrow and live to 106. Sardines, garlic, oats, olive oil. There, you have it. You have exactly what you came for. But I need you to hear me now, and I need you to hear me like your life depends on it, because it does. There is no trick worth having if you spend your longest years alone in a kitchen holding an empty plastic box. There is no food, no diet, no routine, no supplement, no miracle that will matter even a little bit if the people you love become strangers before you die. I gained years, decades. I gained time that science cannot explain, and I lost every single person who made that time worth living. So here is my advice, and I'm not going to be gentle about it. Call someone. Today. Not tomorrow. Not when you've got your life together. Not when you've lost the weight, or made the money, or found the time. Now. Pick up the phone and call someone you love, and tell them you love them, and mean it. Go see your mother. Go sit with your father. Go find your friend who you haven't spoken to in 2 years over something so stupid neither of you can remember what it was. Go. Move. Do it now. Because I promise you, I swear on every one of my 106 useless years, the finish line you're chasing is not worth reaching if you reach it alone. I'm going to open this pill organizer one more time, and I'm going to put a little piece of paper inside. Saturday's compartment. I wrote 2 words on it this morning. Come visit. And I'm going to close it now and set it right here on this table and hope that someone, someday, opens it and reads it. That's all I've got left. A plastic box, a piece of paper, and a prayer that I didn't tell you this too late.